7 Weaknesses of the INFJ personality type. INFJs have a number of great qualities and strengths, including their creativity, compassion, interpersonal insight and selfless devotion. But as with the other personality types, INFJs also carry a number of weaknesses that hold them back or compromise their self-interests. Here is a list of the 7 major weaknesses of the INFJ personality type. 1. INFJs hate being the bad guy or girl. Standing up for themselves or being stern at the risk of offending others can be a challenge for INFJs since they are such people pleasers. They're uncomfortable with the idea of hurting people or making them feel bad because afterwards it torments their soul with guilt. Their tendency toward agreeableness can be a hindrance to their self-interests when they need to be decisive and firm. This can include saying no to demands others think they can foist onto them because it is all too easy for INFJs to be self-sacrificing and do more than they are obligated to do. This is likely why INFJs seem to attract narcissists and other toxic people who love exploiting conscientious empaths. 2. INFJs taking things too personally. INFJ types have a tendency to read into things and sometimes perceive insults and slights where none were intended. The same sensitivity that allows INFJs to understand and commiserate with others is also what makes them susceptible to emotional distress and sadness. When something goes awry or when someone is upset, an INFJ is liable to seriously consider if they are somehow to blame. An INFJ is sometimes prone to overthinking other people's intentions and may interpret a dirty look or being ignored by someone as a personal affront against them, when in reality the person was probably unaware or thinking of something else entirely. 3. INFJs losing touch with their true selves. Because INFJs are good at absorbing and adapting to the energies of the people they interact with, they can find themselves subtly becoming a lot like them. The mutable aspect of INFJ personalities is what makes them such social chameleons who can appear both extroverted and introverted. INFJs are natural actors and actresses who can mimic behaviors in order to get along, be accepted or feel closer to the people they interact with. They can be so good at it or do it so much that they sometimes lose sight of what is authentically them. 4. INFJ neuroticism. Perfectionism and neuroticism are traits or problems commonly associated with INFJ types. INFJs are prone to excessive undue worrying, and their perfectionism often stems from an unhealthy preoccupation with sustaining what is possibly an unrealistic standard or ideal. INFJs may torment themselves with their ideas about how things should be and may overextend themselves in the pursuit of it. Perfectionism, when taken too far, can result in unproductive and unnecessary obsessing over nominal and inconsequential matters that INFJs place overimportance on. Perfectionism often leads to procrastination and may also discourage even attempting certain tasks for fear of failure. 5. INFJs afraid of inconveniencing others. INFJs are known for bearing the burdens of others, but INFJs would never trouble others with their own. This is probably because it puts INFJ on a self-imposed guilt trip, and they don't want to be a drag on anyone or become a source of resentment for them. INFJs want to be self-sufficient and independent, but are willing to be of service to others because they derive satisfaction through it. The problem is that INFJs may place too much responsibility on themselves when they ought to delegate or seek help from others, especially friends who in reality would likely be more than happy to help them out. 6. INFJs being overly cautious. INFJs tend not to be very spontaneous, and this is typical of judger types. They like to play it safe and plan things out ahead of time. They may have a general distaste for putting themselves in risky situations, especially if they are dangerous. INFJs may sometimes be too precarious and risk-averse due to a lack of faith in their ability to improvise effectively and make good, snappy decisions. Because of this, INFJs may often miss out on unexpected opportunities because the number of unknowns involved frighten the INFJ and discourage them from seizing what could be a life-changing event. 7. INFJ lack of competitive mindset. The INFJ's desire for harmony and sense of agreeableness may put them at a disadvantage when pitted against people who have no reservations about stepping on other people's heads to get ahead and obtain what they want. Such a cutthroat mindset is often necessary for success in this world, and many competitive environments may be too much for the INFJ's temperament to tolerate. Many INFJs may have an underdeveloped competitive spirit and tend to fight only for other things and people more than for themselves. INFJs may need to cultivate this aspect of their personality in order to stand up for themselves and not allow ruthless narcissists to tread on them or take them for granted.